Hey guys, my name is Sasha. Welcome back to my channel, and today I want to talk about my top 5 books that I read in autumn. So for the 3 months of autumn, which was March, April and May down here in Australia, I read 23 books, which is pretty good. April was probably the best month because that was ours and I read 9 of those books. So 6 of them were library / audiobooks and 2 of them were rereads. So I'm not going to talk about the rereads because if I did talk about the rereads, then they'd be on this list. But we're not going to do that because I chose not to do that. And then 2 of these books are actually ones that I do not own, which is really upsetting because I want them. Like, I wanted this top 5 to be books that I own because I'm trying to read more books that I own, but I still read books from the library, and of course I love them more because they're not mine. So I'm going to go from 5 to 1. So this is going to have an order, kind of. So the 5th book on this list is Sabriel by Garth Nix. I read Sabriel in May and I really enjoyed it. I found this gorgeous cover at a secondhand bookstore for $9 and I thought that was a bargain. She even said that when I finish the book and it still has the price sticker on it, I can bring it back and get $4.50 off another book, so like half price. But I'm not going back to Hubby Bay anytime soon. Anyway, so Sabriel focuses on this girl called Sabriel, who is the daughter of this mage called Aborsim. And when Sabriel is at school, she gets a message saying that her father is in trouble. So she runs out to help him. Now, her father is an abortion. So what an abortion does is they try to keep the kingdom safe from the dead because the dead like to come back and haunt the place. And I really enjoyed this book. I really enjoyed the characters and I loved the whole adventure, and I cannot wait to see where this story goes. Number 4 on this list is Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. I read this for Owls, I believe, for the adult work, maybe it was, but I really enjoyed the main character, Nonna Gray. She is cutthroat, she is fierce, and I would love to be her, but I'm not a wish. Nonna Gray, she gets put into this school, so it's a convent of Sweet Mercy, and she gets trained to be a badass, basically. You read about her from a young age until where she is now, and she has killed even though she's only 11. She's just very dark, and she just needs a hug, and I just want to hug her and tell her everything's gonna be okay. But I don't know if everything's gonna be okay because Mark Lawrence is not a title up in a bow sort of author. So yeah, I'm excited to read Grey's Sister, and I cannot wait to see where Nonna and the rest of the girls from Sweet Mercy go. The 3rd on this list is The Forbidden Wish by Jessica Curry. This is an Aladdin retelling where the genie is female, and I loved it so much. It was just so magical, and I really enjoyed the banter between the genie and Aladdin, and I also loved the princess. She was amazing. I wish that we got a story from her perspective because I think that would be so good. So if you don't know the story about Aladdin, you have this street rat comes across a lamp which has a genie in it. Except, right, so this book, he has this calling to go find this something, but he doesn't know what he's going to find, and then when he gets there, it's the genie. So she pops out, but she's this like really bad genie, like from all the stories, and they all think she's really bad and they all hate her because they think she killed the princess like years and years ago. But when you hear her side of the story, that's not how it goes, and everyone hates genies, but you've got these people who are trying to use the genie's powers, and it was really good. I think that the genie and like her best friend wasn't really like her best friend, you know what I mean. They were totally in love with each other, but Jessica Curry just didn't want to go with that, and it's quite upsetting. But Oh well, I guess I'll just have to read some different female books. Like Girls of Paper and Fire. That was a good book, but that's not on this list, so I won't talk about that. The second book on this list is Who's Afraid by Maria Lewis. I love this book. I love werewolves. Like, Maria Lewis is an Australian author, and I've met her a couple times. She's so sweet, and I cannot believe it took me so long to pick this book up. This is an adult werewolf book, and it was so good. And the main character, Tommy, she was so badass, and she was so down to earth, and I love this story, and I cannot wait to read the second one. Maria Lewis has other books focusing on different other fantasy creatures. You've also got mermaids, and you've got ghosts, and I'm so excited. So what happens here in this book? Tommy is from Scotland. Well, she's living in Scotland, but she's actually from New Zealand. And when her mum dies, she thinks it's finally time to track down her father. So she goes to New Zealand to find him, but finds out that he was actually from a werewolf clan. So when she gets to New Zealand, all the werewolves are there. So she turns into a werewolf for the first time. And you've got this dude, right, who you think is going to be bad, but he's a love interest, and he was so sexy. And I loved the angst in this book. Oh my god, so much angst. It was so good. And yeah, loved it. And the number one book I read in autumn was The Nowhere Girls by Amy Reed. I borrowed this from the library, not knowing much about it. All I know is that Emma Books talked about it a lot, and I will read anything she suggests. So I read it, and mind blown. This is all about female empowerment and how men just get away with stupid shit, and all the girls were banding together to try to stop it, because they shouldn't be like on a website ranked on how good the sex was. You got these 4 different girls, and they don't talk to each other, but when this girl moves into the neighborhood, she's the new girl in school, and she finds this writing on the wall, and she don't know what it is. Anyway, when she goes to school, she finds out that the last girl who lived in that house was basically run out of town because she voiced that these guys had raped her. And no one believed her, so she's gone. But the new girl believes her. And there's a couple other girls who think the same thing, but they don't want to voice their opinion because they just know that this is a man-driven world, and they don't want to be conquered by the men. So then these girls start up this group called the Nowhere Girls, where all these, like, they will invite any other girl to get together and just talk about their feelings and how to try to get back this town and like this school from the guys. And I loved it. It gave me Moxie vibes, but it's so much more serious than Moxie. I just loved it. And this one girl in it, she was obsessed with Star Trek, and I love that because my husband is obsessed with Star Trek, so I'm obviously have to be too. It's all right. I'm not afraid to say that. I've also got this girl called Rosa, who reminds me of Rosa from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and she was bisexual as well. And good book, guys. I really, really enjoyed this book, and everyone should read this book. So that was my top 5 favourite books that I read in autumn. Let me know down below what your 5 favourite books for the last 3 months were, because I would love to know. If you have any thoughts or feelings about any books I mentioned today, please comment them down below so we can talk all about it. But if you want to add me on Goodreads, Instagram or Twitter, they are all at sashreads. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye!